Hello everyone, I all hope you had a very wonderful, great day, and a very much of a beautiful day indeed, guys. So very grateful that you guys have exactly continued to viewing and watching my episodes from long videos and also from shorts and also from TikTok as well. So superly grateful for that, guys. And also may God bless you and keep you safe and also stay with you in whatever it is that you're also doing and also trying to pursue as well. But nevertheless, guys, I all hope you had a wonderful, blessed weekend. And as you can see, guys, I'm quietly back as well until Friday until Friday. And I'll keep on shooting new episodes of, I'll keep on shooting the episodes about the new supervillains and old new superheroes and old supervillains and old supervillains and heroes and monsters and powerful ancient sinister threats that I was previously exactly able to tell you. Regardless of the list, guys, I all hope we will have a wonderful, blessed, and a very much of a great day indeed, guys. As you can see, guys, today is extremely hot, and it's just very much quietly extremely hot with the sky that's quietly blue. But nevertheless, this weather is quietly unpredictable as well. So let's get to it. On today's episode, we're to speak about a very powerful supervillain known as Mok, who is the right hand man of a powerful dark ancient witch known as Shadowfall, who is a high ranking member of an ancient secret society of supervillains known as the Order of the Five, with the sole goal and dedication and purpose of deciding the fate of humanity, also with the sole plan of conquering worlds, planets, civilizations, sacred nations, and the sacred world, and the sacred universe and the known worlds, in order for them to further their sole plans, in order for them to further they saw plans of sole control over the known universe and over humanity. Regardless of the less, Mark remains as a right hand man of Shadowfall, meaning, in other words, he stays by her sides at all costs. He protects his queen and also watches over his queen as long as possible, even following her direct orders and her true submission by any means necessary. He's a well devoted and trustworthy right hand man of Shadowfall, dedicated his life and his entire mission and philosophy and purpose to protecting his queen, and also following her direct orders and her true assignment, which she also dispatches him to exactly do. So let's get right into it. In Mark's earlier life, during in the ancient times of the great sacred world's wars and battles, where the Red Empire has completely exactly ravaged the entire magical worlds and villages of the entire magic of the entire sacred magic dimension. Mark and his people were regarded as a powerful race, as a very powerful, formidable race without no powers, without no ancient supernatural abilities, that they have granted the abilities of manipulating clay and of manipulating ancient clay with a very formidable power and techniques. During at that time, Mark's people and the rest of these people were being hunted and were being exterminated by the dark druids and by the dark witches and by the dark faithful, who were following the direct orders of the original Lord of Magic and the most powerful goddess of power, known as the Witch of Power, Amber, who is the wife of the original Lord of Magic. They besieged the entire sacred magical dimension of gold and power and clay, besieging it into total chaos, into total destruction. Mark, as a child, was forced to run away and was forced to find shelter. During at that time, he was exactly able to hide away from the chaos and from the destruction until he found out that the other worldly worlds and pocket dimensions were also being invaded by the Red Empire's true campaigning in destroying and ravaging and planning to conquer many worlds and many civilization in the process to further their sole conquest for the sacred global domination of their goal, and also for their dominance over the sacred universe, for them to remain the sole dominant empire throughout the known universe in the very first place as well, to competing against the Shadow Empire for sole dominant and power, and for them to remain the sole ruling empire of the cosmos. Regardless of the less, Mark exactly began to hide out the ancient archives of the golden pyramids of the temple that were also completely ravaged. During at that time, he encountered a powerful dark witch known as Shadowfall, who Shadowfall completely exactly granted him more supernatural powers and abilities, enhancing his physiology, enhancing his greater enhancing his greater sacred supernatural physiology by granting him superhuman powers and supernatural powers and greater extraordinary alien powers and genetic DNA all combined into one and merged into one by granting him and by giving him and transfusing her dark magic into energy power, which grants a normal supernatural creature with no powers with supernatural powers and greater superhuman powers as well in a process. Regardless of the less, Mark felt very grateful to Shadowfall and very, very enlightened by Shadowfall by granting him greater superhuman physiology and powers that are beyond greatly understanding that he can never even control. During at that day and during the ancient times, Mark exactly experienced supernatural, super sight and super hearing, and the power of freeze breath, and the power of heat vision, and the power of super speed, and the power of super strength, granting him more power than anything else ever before. He bowed down to the mighty great dark witch known as Shadowfall and promised that he will serve as a right-hand man, or as rather as a great servant. Shadowfall exactly told Mark that she will do well to serve her as a right-hand man in order to remain by her side at all costs in fulfilling her long-term missions and her long-term goal in the process as well. Mark completely agreed that that is exactly what he will do as well. Over the course of sacred history's wars and battle, Shadowfall remained into the ancient crystal dark temple, where she was able to reconceal her location and her basis of operation, and Mark remained by her side until the goddess of life exactly approached Shadowfall with an intriguing offer, telling her to join the Order of the Five, which is an ancient secret organization dedicated to deciding the fate of humanity and controlling mankind's wars and events and the sacred world's conflicts and wars and events from the shadows of the sacred world and from the shadows of humanity, while they remain in power and in control over all the conflicts and over all the aspects of the conflicts of the sacred world and of humanity in the process, in order for them to remain the sole rulers of the cosmos and of the rest of the sacred universe by dominating their presence and their people and their kind along mankind, and as well by deciding the fate of humanity as well, which can also be able to be beneficial for Shadowfall as well. Shadowfall quietly accepted the proposition, as Mark was quietly intrigued by her queen's decision in order to accepting the new decision and and accepting the seat at the table of the ancient organization known as the Order of the Five. And Mark was very, very much quietly, gratefully, reluctantly pleased of that as well. Sincerely, very much completely grateful of that as well. On the 15th of June, Mark was quietly completely present when Shadowfall exactly returned to the ancient dark crystal temple and told her minions and her followers that they did exactly as they're supposed to be going according to plan, meaning in other words, the universal heroes ruining their plans and their long-term goals and everything else will lead to the sole plans of their future goals to exactly take place the way they are meant to be and the way the plan was supposed to be cemented by, meaning the actions of them rebuilding and recreating and restoring the great powerful temple back to its former glory is exactly the plan it's supposed to be. And now the plans of the Order of the Five can begin to take place and immediate effective action and proceeding according to schedule the way it's supposed to be, as Shadowfall reassured her minions, and then she quietly sympathized with a long-term failure and battle up against the universal heroes. And Mark was completely present at that meeting with her queen as well. On the 29th of July, Mark exactly began a powerful secretive operation with the other minions of Shadowfall, as he ordered the dark magical users of the dark druids and of the dark witches and of the dark faithful to make sure that the transportation of shadow energy must be unlikely to be taken care of and very much taken care of, and also to be very much delivery under control by its true delivery system. Now that the power vacuum within the Shadow Empire has really began to spiral out of control and initially taking a different course of action, and the balance balance, that the cosmic balance of power has taken its different action, and it's also different, a positive action from all the other sizes. The minions and all the other operatives completely understand exactly what was gratefully at stake, and they completely agreed to do just that in order to make sure the delivery system and the transportation system was rightfully in order the way it was remarkably supposed to be. On the 22 of August, Mark exactly handled the rest of the delivery system with the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders from the other worldly worlds and planets and civilization, as was able to reconvene with them on the normal base of operation, which was quietly hidden from other worlds and planets and civilization, as the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders exactly told Mark that they know exactly what the Order of the Five did on the previous months and years by taking all the documented and undocumented experiments with the ones that are quietly kept in hibernation cryogenetic freeze pods in order for the sleeping army to awaken on the perfect right time. Mark exactly told the Shadow Empires that the masters of the Order of the Five wanted those undocumented experiments for their future goals and for their future plans, to make sure that they have an army of supernatural and alien and superhuman monsters or Foundation Hunter monsters at their control and at their soon dispatchable control, meaning in other words that those monsters and creatures and beings now belong to the Order of the Five. And Mark even directly told the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders that he was also part of the raid that the masters of the Order of the Five staged on the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders facility on their facility on that month and on that particular year, where they all took it. And he also exactly told them that he also helped them take all the cryogenic freeze stasis pod, and that he also carted out with the stasis genetic freeze pod that was also able to take in order to helping the masters further their future plans and their long-term plans and goals in the process. Regardless of the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders told Mark that they're willing to exactly remain associates of the Order of the Five. And Mark was reluctantly very pleased and very, very, very sincere, happy that the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders have decided to put aside their fragile ego in order to exactly maintain a partnership with the ancient and most powerful shadowy organization that ever operated for many centuries and for many, many, many years. And in doing so, Mark exactly told the Shadow Empire warlords that he will tell his masters that you have also decided to remain very, very good associates of the Order of the Five, and that will be kept the way it was supposed to as well. On the 15th of September, the members of the Order of the Five reconvened on an ancient, powerful dark crystal temple, and Mark was quietly present during the meeting as the bodyguard of Shadowfall, where the members of the Order of the Five exactly convened on an ancient crystal temple. On the 16th of September, Mark was also present during the meeting, but hiding behind the shadows when the members of the Order of the Five reconvened on an ancient, powerful dark crystal temple in order to speak about the setbacks of the operation, and also to speak about their long-term plans of their goals and of their mission on how to destroy and wipe out the universal heroes and the intergalactic coalition in a process. He was very much quietly hiding behind the shadows, while the members of the Order of the Five began exactly talking about their plans and also their long-term goals and plans as well, on how to proceed on the next steps of the operation, on the next steps, and also on the next step of the plan in order to proceed on the next step of the plan as well. On the 19th of October, Mark was quietly present when Shadowfall completely exactly began a powerful dark ancient ritual with their dark followers of their dark magic users, such as the dark druids and the dark witches and the dark faithful, who began a very powerful, sinister dark ritual in opening a dimensional portal, and opening another dark dimensional portal from the other side. Mark exactly remained as a bodyguard, as he was completely silent, but remained there in order to watch to make sure that everything else was going according to plan, the way it was intended to be. On the 19th of November, Mark exactly was dispatched in order to make sure that the other operations and other worldly operations were completely taken care of from other worlds and from other planets, as Mark exactly reconvened with the other alien warlords and criminals from the other distant worlds and planets, as they were all able to exactly meet up on a different base of operation, as Mark exactly told the alien warlords and criminals that everything else must go according to plan, the way it's supposed to mean that they must wreak havoc according to the plan the way it's supposed to be, meaning in distracting the intergalactic coalition and the four nation hunters as long as possible, to making sure that the operation and the future goals of the plan will proceed according the way they're supposed to be, and that they'll be able to benefit from the long-term plan of their future goals and of their future prosperation in the long term of their goals and well, and on the long term of their plans and their goals as well in the process. The alien warlords and criminals were very fond of Mike, as they quietly believed in him that is exactly what they'll do as well. On the 17th of December, Mark exactly met up with his rightful queen, known as Shadowfall, on another ancient, powerful dark crystal temple, which was also concealed and protected by a powerful dark magical glamour of a barrier, which actually hides the powerful dark crystal temple from intruders and from invaders, which also prevents it from being tracked down by a powerful dark light magical spell that can easily locate it, or try to precisely exactly relocate it. Regardless of the last, Mark exactly met up with Shadowfall and told Shadowfall everything else, that the operations are gladly taking place and that everything else is going according to plan. That's the way it's supposed to be, meaning that the members of the Order of the Five now can proceed on the next target of their plan and on the next steps of a true motivation of their plans and of their goal. Regardless of the last, Shadowfall was very completely happy, as she told Mark that she has a special assignment for him that he has to do in order to make sure that the goals of the organization of the society and of the ancient secret society go exactly the way it's supposed to be. But this operation could take 2 months, or rather 2 years, for it to be completed. Mark agreed that is exactly what he's willing to do. Shadowfall exactly told Mark this is exactly what the operation has to be, but he has to definitely return between the 3 months, or rather the years that are coming by. Mark precisely reassured his master and queen that is exactly what you'll precisely be able to do. On the 20th of January, Mark exactly met up with the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders on the crystal base of operation beneath the Shadow Empire warlords commanders beneath the Shadow Empire warlords commanders faction of their bases of operation, and he exactly told the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders that this is the full scale of the plan and that it must actually proceed the way it's intended to be, without any further due process or interruption from the world heroes, which they can easily annihilate them and destroy them in one fell swoop, and they could benefit from them being destroyed. The Shadow Empire warlords commanders exactly were excited about the plan, and they were asking Mark what is the full scope of the plan. Mark exactly explained to them that this is a full scope of the plan, as he about to exactly tell them. On the 25th of February, Mark exactly was able to meet up with the other alien warlords and criminals from the other jungle worlds and planets, as was able to exactly conceal himself from the shadows, as was able to exactly literally reconceal himself from the shadows, while the four nation hunters and the intergalactic coalition were fighting the other alien warlords and criminals from the other jungle worlds or the forests of the other worlds, while the other alien warlords and criminals met up with Mark, while Mark was quietly concealing himself from the shadows to make sure that the heroes or any one of the forces or operatives weren't able to exactly see him. He told the other alien warlords and criminals that the plan is still exactly the same way it's supposed to be, and that it must be continued precisely the way it was orchestrated by. Despite that, the alien warlords and criminals exactly told Mark that there's been a change of plans now that the intergalactic coalition and the united heroes are getting too close on their steps, and are literally tracking their steps and everything else of the operation, that things are becoming way too much out of control. And with the new Lord of Magic and his new organization and his new ancient secret society, with the dedication and sole goal to wiping them out and exterminating them out, the plan and the operation has become definitely too risky for them to easily to be exposed right now, since the battle between the forces of good and evil is literally spiraling out of control, and the universal heroes and the intergalactic coalition of the four nation hunters are doing everything else they can to make sure that the war doesn't literally spiral out of control and literally reach into planet Earth, literally reach into the solar system of planet Earth before it can exactly reach into humanity. Mark exactly told the alien warlords and criminals that the plan exactly remains still exactly the way it's supposed to, which could easily benefit them. The other alien warlords and criminals were getting cold feet as they told Mark they're completely bailing out of the plan, that they will form their own factions to taking re-control of their worlds and planets by fighting the Shadow Empire warlords. Right from there, they completely decided to pull out of the operation, while the others decided to remain in. Regardless of the others, while the others were about to speak to Mark, Mark completely disappeared from the shadows of the jungle alien worlds and was never again seen again. But despite that, the other alien worlds and criminals decided to pull off their own operation and their own successful plans to reconquering and reclaiming their worlds and planets from the Shadow Empire in order to fight it while it's still in turmoil and while it's still in chaos as well. On the 29th of March, Mark was able to exactly reconvene with the other Dark Druids and Dark Witches and Dark Faithful, who are also the followers of Shadowfall, and was able to exactly meet up with them. The Dark Magic users exactly told Mark that the plan is exactly going accordingly the way it was supposed to, meaning the alien warlords and criminals being afraid and being scared to be exterminated and being annihilated by the new Lord of Magic and by Lord Clay and by Lord Braggley and by the other ancient secret societies and organizations who share the same beliefs and obligation as a previous Lord of Magic actually did. They are eager in order to take the fight against the Intergalactic Coalition and against the Universal Heroes, which will soon benefit the Order of the Five. Mark exactly completely relishes to see that the plan is now finally bearing fruit, and that the members of the Order of the Five will remain the sole ruler of the cosmos in the process, which means the ultimate goal of controlling humanity will finally bear fruit in its long-term plans. Despite that, Mark exactly told the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders for their great loyalty and for their true commitment and loyalty and devotion to the organization's beliefs and goals, they will be rewarded regardlessly with more worlds and with more planets that are under their sole control and that are also under their influence, as a way to show them that they completely exactly respect their partnership and their full cooperation in them working together. Regardless of the rest, the Shadow Empire warlords and the other alien warlords, commanders, and rogue evil warlocks exactly were very testamentally pleased as the Dark Druids and Dark Magic users and faithful exactly bear short Mark that their true service and loyalty lies to Shadowfall, and that all they do is in her name, no matter what. Despite that, Mark disappeared from the meeting and was never again seen again. On the 16th of April, Mark was able to return to Shadowfall on another different base of operation, which was another powerful Dark Crystal Temple, and this time Mark exactly told his great master Dark Queen that the plan is successfully taking place and that everything else is going according to plan the way it's supposed to be. Shadowfall exactly told Mark that she has a special assignment for him that he has to pull off and that he needs to be precisely to be involved in order to make sure that this final assignment is exactly going to take place. Mark exactly told his Dark Master and Queen that he's willing to obligate and he's willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that the assignment is happily fulfilled and is happily done as well in the process. On the 20th of May, the world heroes and the Four Nation Hunters were actually escorting refugees out from the sacred magical mountains and caves, unaware that those entire mountains and caves were heavily used as an ambush route, when Mark exactly completely revealed himself and completely exposed himself and told the world heroes and the Four Nation Hunters that this is the end of the interference, that it's time for them to be wiped out, and it's time for them to be deliberately to be wiped out, and they had enough of the interference of them causing their plans into turmoil, into chaos, and they have to be fully to be exterminated. Regardless of the less, the mercenaries and the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders who are heavily equipped with destructive and compatible Shadow Empire technology begin exactly taking the battle straightly towards the world heroes. Regardless of the less, the world heroes and the Phoenician hunters exactly triumphed as they remain victorious, with the world hero leader known as Animal Boy focused all his attacks and all his firepower against Mark, as they both realized that they were both evenly matched against fighting each other, and Mark decided to disappear during the chaos of the other operatives and the other assassins who of course were apprehended during the battle, as well as he vanished into thin air, and Animal Boy exactly wondered who was the mysterious, powerful new adversary that they were actually encountered, and how did he precisely know that the refugees will actually be escorted out of here, out of nowhere. On the 20th of June, Mark exactly met up with the Phoenician hunter within sacred cities, within the sacred cities walls, within the sacred cities walls of the shadows, and told a member of the Phoenician hunter that his information exactly provided him exactly what he had to do, and for that he exactly thanked him by giving him a sack of gold, of golden pieces of coins, and also another sack of gold, which was pure refined energy gold from the golden universe, as a way to tell, as a way to thank the Phoenician hunter operative for his greatest contribution in sharing the intelligence information and the rest of the informational source as well. The Phoenician hunter operative was very grateful for the sacks of gold, as he told Mark that he'll be taking his leave of absence from Sacred City and going back into the Mixel universe in order to find his inner peace and his inner self, and he'll be leaving the sacred galactic conflict and war once and for all, just for him to find his new place and his new purpose. Despite that, Mark exactly told the Phoenician hunter operative that he can't just exactly vanish too soon, as he's still needed for his operation. The Phoenician hunter operative exactly reassured Mike that he's already trained his best new operative to take over where he actually exactly left over his position, and that's where he will gladly exactly fulfill his rightful place and mission as well in a long term of their partnership, and in long term of their partnership, and also of their association as well. Mark was quietly reassured as the both of them completely vanished into the shadows and they were never seen again, as if they never exactly met or seen each other within the shadows of Sacred City's walls or buildings. They disappeared completely. On the 16 on the 16th of July, Mark was able to meet up with the dark witches of the sacred magic dimension on their very powerful crystal dark schools, where they were able to exactly meet up. Mark exactly told the dark witches that they should continue wreaking havoc and chaos on the behalf of the Order of the Five, which will soon benefit them for their long-term plans. But the witches exactly asked Mark, what are they willing to gain from the chaos and from the destruction of the sacred magic dimension being in ruin and being in quietly in chaos, and furthermore in more chaos, and in furthermore in more destruction? Mark exactly told the dark witches of the sacred magic dimension that they'll soon remain the sole rulers and the sole conquerors of the sacred magic universe once the chaos and everything else has managed to dial down. But in the meantime, they should add more fire to the chaos so that the universal heroes and the intergalactic coalition of the Phoenician hunters will be forced to stretch their resources way too thin, enough for the war to rightfully take its place. The witches agreed to do that, as long as they were soon able to benefit by remaining the sole rulers of the sacred magic universe in the process as well. On the 25th of August, Mark was able to exactly meet up with his dark queen and master on another powerful dark crystal temple, which was relocated in a different world and planet, where Mark exactly told Shadowfall that all the operations and plans and orchestrations have finally been taking place, and that everything else is ready for you and your associates to begin your plans and cooperation. Shadowfall was quietly impressed by Mark's greatest resilience and his true devotion to her and to the organization, and also to this ancient secret society. And Shadowfall exactly told Mark that he done well, that she made the right choice by making him her right hand man, who could easily do anything and get everything else done. Despite that, she exactly quietly told him that she gratefully exactly respect his dedication and his devotion and his hard work into the organization's goals and long-term plans, which will soon bear fruit, and he will also exactly benefit from that as well. Mark exactly told Shadowfall that his true loyalty and devotion lies to her and to a higher power, nothing more and nothing less. And she was very completely pleased to see that Mike is very completely devoted to the organization and to a high power, regardless of his sole purpose and philosophy. Despite that, the two of them share the same common interest and the same common goal, and the same common goal, and also the same ancient beliefs as well, as they believe in the Order of the Five is goal, regardless. On the 18th of August, Mark was able to reconvene with the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders, and telling them everything else has been put into place. And as part of their cooperation, of their partnership, they have all the worlds and all the other planets under their sole control as part of the deal. Regardless of the last, the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders told Mark that they're fully willing to partner up with the Order of the Five to completely supply them with more destructive, more compatible technology as part of the agreement and deal as well. Mark was very completely relieved to see that the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders have completely agreed on that, and they've remained loyal to the organization and to the ancient secret society for many centuries and for many, many years, and that it still remains so. On the 19th of September, Mark was able to exactly meet up with Shadowfall on one of her bases, or one of her secretive bases of operation. This time was quietly hidden far away in an unknown location of an unknown world and planet. And regardless of the last, Mark exactly told Shadowfall everything else is going according to plan. If there's anything else that she quietly needs, Shadowfall exactly told Mark he needs to go back to the ancient powerful dark temple where they once practiced a dark ritual in order to make sure that her operatives and her forces are doing exactly as she commanded them to do, and for him to exactly remain there and stay there for the past few weeks and also for the past few months, while she and the other members of the Order of the Five began orchestrating a powerful event that could exactly take place. Mark agreed to do the assignment and that he would remain in the ancient powerful dark crystal on the ancient powerful temple that was quietly reborn and rebuilded and reformed back to its former glory due to Universal Magic Girl and the other Universal members of the Universal Heroes and the other members of the World Heroes who managed in order to restore the temple back to its former glory, and by rebuilding it back to its greatest glory and its true magic power and energy was restored by banishing and by keeping the dark energy spell ultimate power in another pocket dimension where Shadowfall and the rest of her followers of her dark magic users begin conducting an ancient powerful ritual in order to open up the portal from the other pocket dimension in order to retrieve the dark spell ultimate power. By doing so, they actually exactly open up a new energy source of power which contained powerful dark magical orbs of light and dark magic orbs that contain powerful dark light and dark and powerful magic orbs of magic which contain more power and more greater energy than ever before. Regardless of the last, Mark agreed that he'll do just that in order to make sure that the newfound ultimate power will remain safe and will be kept hidden for once you and the other members of the Order of the Five decided in order to find a way to utilize this new dark energy spell of ultimate power for their own ultimate goals in the process. Shadowfall completely agreed, and that is exactly what he has to do. Regardless of the less, guys, Mark is a very skilled supervillain, a very, very powerful right hand man, formidable operative of Shadowfall, remains by her side at all times. Regardless of this, he is solely devoted to the organization's goals and purpose and to his philosophy and mission, and he believes in the Order of the Five's goals and mission and long-term plans and its true goals and purpose as well, and is willing to make sure that the organization's goals and purpose successfully bear fruit. He is solely devoted and loyal to Shadowfall, who is after all his dark queen and master, and is willing to protect her and guard her, and is willing to follow her orders no matter what, even if it separates him from her, and regardless of the point, he's willing to do just that to make sure the organization's goals successfully bear fruit. Due to his longevity, he quietly believes in the Order of the Five's goals are meant to the members of the Order of the Five are meant to remain the sole rulers of the cosmos, and he's also quietly a devoted, powerful supernatural being who also believes in the goals of the original world of magic to wipe out and annihilate the supernaturals and the aliens and the superhumans and the Four-Nation Hunters in the process. Regardless of this, he was quietly skeptical, but he's very optimistic, very ruthless, very, very cruel, and very, very, very dangerous and deadly, and very, very powerful, formidable supervillain, and also greater assassin, right-hand man of Shadowfall, who is a powerful member of an ancient secret society of supervillains known as the Order of the Five as well. Mark is very, very, very intelligent and extremely dangerous, also very quietly good in maintaining his usual bases of operation, such as his central headquarters, as he uses the basis of operation of the Order of the Five in order for him to convene and meet up with the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders and other criminals. He understands and knows how the sacred underworld of the criminal of the alien supernatural superhuman criminal world, how it works. He completely understands it, and him to completely to him he completely understands how it works and how the system of it works completely, which makes it easier for him to form powerful formidable alliances with evil alien warlords and alien criminals and alien crime bosses and alien powerful super criminals and other Shadow Empire warlords and powerful dark witches as well in the process, and evil warlocks and dark druids and dark witches and dark faithful. Regardless of the less, he exactly forms powerful formidable alliances with them in order to aid them on their respective missions and goals, so that he can also benefit the Order of the Five. He's very skilled in hand-to-hand combat, swordsmanship, tactician, strategist, and also very skilled, and also very skilled in dark, and also very skilled in the dark arts of dark magic, able to disappear, reappear at will, very skilled in manipulating darkness and shadows, also at will, very skilled in super hearing, super limping, super strength, super speed, and also super senses, and also with the power of detecting powerful light, magical creatures and beings as well in the process, and very responsible and very intelligent and very optimistic and very charismatically cruel in nature, skilled with swordsmanship and marksmanship and agility and endurance, and also with the power of using the swords and blades as well. Very dangerous, powerful, formidable, unknown, supernatural being of a supervillain, and also very deadly. According to Animal Boy's report, as he told the Universal Heroes and the members of the Four Nation Hunters and the members of the Four Nation Hunters of the Intergalactic Coalition, Mark is a very dangerous, unknown adversary to them, which is who they clearly don't know exactly who he works for or who exactly he's actually been hired by. But regardless of the last, Animal Boy exactly warned the Universal Heroes and the United Heroes and the members of the Intergalactic Coalition of the Four Nation Hunters to never again take Mark lightly, and to never again underestimate his abilities or undermining him. He's too dangerous and he's too deadly and very powerful and very an unknown force of evil that can never be underestimated, according to him, which his team of superheroes fought recently, and he can never be taken lightly as well. Regardless of that, Mark is very good in manipulation, very good in deception, able to using his enemy's fears against them in order for them to join forces with him. He's very determined, very determined, and very reluctant. He never gives up on the mission and its purpose, and he'll keep trying to find many other ways to make sure that the order of the five schools and mission and long-term plans successfully bear fruit. Furthermore, also the goals of his master and dark queen known as Shadowfall, who also has her own goals and mission and agenda, also successfully as well bear fruit as well in the process. Despite that, he partners up with Shadowfall's dark, powerful, mysterious followers known as the Dark Druids and the Dark Witches and the Dark Faithful, and also aid them in their respective powerful, dark, magical, scientific experiments. Also remains a god to them, which he quietly believes in a dark, magical, scientific experiments, and he also exactly believes in a goal and in a mission as well. He sees them being very loyal servants to the queen and to the high dark priestess known as Shadowfall, and he quietly exactly able to respect that as well of them, and he quietly is very much quietly indeed associated with them as well. In most of the times they are quietly seen working together. He's either seen working together with them or either seen remaining as the personal bodyguard, as remains as a very powerful right hand man of Shadowfall by watching her and by protecting her at all costs. He will always protect Shadowfall and her associate, and always protecting the Dark Queen Shadowfall at all costs, being with her and being present with her, hiding himself and concealing himself for the shadows to make sure that when Shadowfall meets up and convene with the members of the Order of the Five, that whatever it is that they're discussing or talking remains only to them for them to discuss and talk about, to further their plans and their goals. And regardless of the last, he's a sole believer, truly devoted to Shadowfall and to her goals and to the goals of the Order of the Five, very, very trustworthy with all the secrets of the ancient, with all the secrets of the ancient secret society known as the Order of the Five Skulls and mission. And he knows very well to protect them and to also do very well. He also very quietly, very well knows to protect them and also to guard them as well. He's extremely immortal, lived during the ancient times. He developed a powerful dark hatred towards the Red Empire, and he's decided to learn to control it rather than to allow it to consume him. And he's decided to keep it down and to keep his cool. Very patient, very optimistic, and very determined, and very well trained in hand-to-hand combat and also in the dark arts, and very skilled in deception and in manipulation, not meant to be underestimated or taken lightly. Very skilled in manipulating events, wars, battles, everything else that has to do with the universal heroes, all the world heroes, all the united heroes, all the universal founders, all the universal magic heroes. He will be slightly be involved in everything else that they do, but he will keep his involvement a secret or work behind the shadows, like the members of the Order of the Five, who operate behind the shadows of the sacred world in order for them to make sure that the existence and that the existence of the organization of the ancient secret society are never known towards the sacred world, except for their top competitors, which is the new Lord of Magic, the founders, the Order of the Six, and also the Order of the Six Sacred Five, the Unholy Alliance, the Galactic, and the other ancient secret societies who are also competing against each other to make sure that their goals and their plans also successfully bear fruit. Regardless of the less, Mark is a very loyal right-hand man, very devoted to Shadowfall and the Order of the Five, a sole believer of the organization, willing to make sure its plans and goals successfully bear fruit, completely merciless and very completely merciless and devoted to the goal of the organization, of the ancient shadowy organization, and of its true beliefs and goals successfully bear fruit. He too also has a philosophy that he decided to keep to himself as well after witnessing the extermination of his people and his kind being wiped out during the ancient time, and he's decided to keep that to himself as well. But regardless of the less, he's very devoted, very optimistic, very skilled, and very handful. He was once a very powerful, beautiful man and a very gentle soul. But after during the great wars of the sacred worlds and of the conflict in ancient times, that has quietly left a powerful dark mark upon him, which has created nothing but a weapon of utterly darkness and truly of deceitful and of deceit and everything else through him. Now all that is left for him is to complete the goals of the organization, which he successfully actually believes in as well. Well, that's it for today, guys. I'll actually see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful, blessed, great day, and a very wonderful day. And take care of yourself. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow as well. And enjoy yourself, and also stay safe as well. Love you, and God bless you all. Take care, and have a wonderful, great day. Bye.